into Virgo, and Mercury is moving into Libra this week. Fun things. The Virgo Sun focuses our attention to details in life that help us to move forward with our goals. It also helps us to focus on our health, vitality, and caring for others, and the health and well-being of everybody around us. That's like Virgo's thing, caring for other people. So that's something that's going to be amplified now that we are in Virgo season. Mercury in Libra. Mercury is our planet of communication, and Libra is our sign of balance and all things fair and beautiful. So Mercury in Libra helps us to be rational, diplomatic, and friendly in our thinking and communication. And it is time when it can be easy for us to see both sides of a situation. However, decision-making may be more difficult than usual, as Libra likes to sit on the fence to keep the peace and avoid offending anybody, which is so true.
We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast.
Hello, everybody. You caught us while we were laughing. This is an episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome back. We're so happy to have you. As per usual, this is your astrology forecast for the week ahead here as a part of the Sisters Enchanted. I'm Anna, and I'm joined again by our friend Christina. Hello.
Hi.
Christina. Hello. Friend and teammate extraordinaire. Sorry, I have plants. Have I said this? I don't know if I've said this on one of these podcasts. I've said it on live feeds before that I have lots of plants. And sometimes like a fungus gnat will fly by and I'm like ninja trapping it and I probably look really crazy. But if you have plants, then you know, because you can't have more than like 4 plants and like not have fungus gnats. Anyways, living the plant life. So if you see me swatting, it's not because something's come over me, it's because there's a fly in the camera.
I mean, we're just used to it now. Like, oh, and it's just
it's actually not that bad. It sounds bad. It sounds like I have like an infestation of them. It's actually very managed, and only like one flies by every once in a while. But it's because I'm in one room with the door shut, so it's like the same like one.
It's the same fly.
He's on like repeat. So he's got a course that he's running, so every like few minutes I'm like anyways, so as always, I digress, and we're here for an astrology forecast for the week. So this one's coming at you for the week of August 22nd. You know what that means? It means that it's Virgo season, which means that my birthday's coming up. Woo! That's my song.
Party at Anna's.
Credit to the Virgo song for me. So anyways, the sun moves into Virgo, and Mercury is moving into Libra this week. Fun things. The Virgo Sun focuses our attention to details in life that help us to move forward with our goals. It also helps us to focus on our health, vitality, and caring for others, and the health and well-being of everybody around us. That's like Virgo's thing, caring for other people. So that's something that's going to be amplified now that we are in Virgo season. Mercury in Libra. Mercury is our planet of communication, and Libra is our sign of balance and all things fair and beautiful. So Mercury in Libra helps us to be rational, diplomatic, and friendly in our thinking and communication. And it is time when it can be easy for us to see both sides of a situation. However, decision-making may be more difficult than usual, as Libra likes to sit on the fence to keep the peace and avoid offending anybody, which is so true. So true.
I feel that. I'm a Libra moon. I feel that.
Well, so you'll know, fun fact, my husband is a Libra, and he like hates to make decisions, like hates it. And if I'm like, oh no, it's up to you this time, he's like, no. And he like actually gets like really overwhelmed when I'm like, you make a choice this time. Yeah. And he's a Virgo rising. So he's also a people pleaser because that's how Virgos are. And then so am I. But then I'm a Scorpio rising. And so when we are like, no, you choose, no, you choose, no, you choose. And then I get mad and I'm like, I don't know what to choose. Just do something.
Just do it. It gets to that breaking point. Scorpio takes charge in that case. It's been pushed.
I'm like, I'm trying to be nice and let you choose. Don't take advantage of my niceness and just do it.
Just, no.
So with that little tidbit of knowledge, this Virgo Sun energy and Mercury and Libra energy is going to be really fun in my household.
Yeah.
So there's that. So like I said, the Sun moves into Virgo, which is super exciting. It gives everybody just maybe a little bit more attention to detail than normal, and can really highlight you wanting to take a moment of self-care and really, care for your health and well-being, whether that is through food or movement or journaling or arting, whatever you want.
Arting.
But Virgo loves to have that kind of order, especially when it comes to like your health and like body constitution and all these great things. So that's something that's happening. And like I said, they want to incorporate that to everybody around them. They want to help everybody around them achieve their goals and care for themselves. And Mercury in Libra, that's a lot of, fair communication. If you are somebody who has a strong Libra influence, maybe to make sure that you're not like over pleasing and really check your scales. I always say that about the sign of Libra, that it's supposed to be the sign of the balanced scales, but like really their scales are really unbalanced most of the time. And it's when they like finally realize that like it's gotten really out of control that they like snap back the other way. And they're like, you've been taking advantage of me. Things aren't fair. When really they were like over giving, and the person on the receiving end didn't even realize that the Libra energy was feeling like it wasn't fair. Like it waits till too long. And then we have that error kind of sometimes reaction where words come out. So
words come out.
So Mercury kind of demands, clearer communication. And it's also a great time to have like really like beautiful communication, because Virgo and Libra, fun fact, once upon a time ago, their constellations were kind of connected in one constellation. So there are these like two constellations that are just like kind of doing like a energetic dance with each other. And we have like that imagery of the harvester in Virgo and Libra, being a sign connected with Venus and wanting beauty and to see the beauty in everything and have this like fair reception, because Libra wants everything to be fair, and Virgo is so self-sacrificing, that there's kind of like this beautiful thing that's happening here where you might be able to have some really great conversations about needs or not being heard or seen, and doing it in a really gentle way. And that's kind of like how I'm feeling like these energies are, just that they can be very mutually receptive to each other when they want to be.
I like it. It's very poetic in that. And I did not know that about the constellations, that they were connected at one point.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know if connected is like the right word exactly, but they are they're two signs that are like often tied to like another story in mythology, where like the scales and the woman are connected. It's like a whole nother.
That's a whole nother podcast for another day.
but yeah, so like over time though, the constellations have become kind of two separate entities, that of Libra and that of Virgo. If you're part of Expedition Astrology, I think I talk about it in the Story Through the Stars.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so that is fun. So yeah. So we have 3 tips for you this week, and they are: pay attention to details, but be careful of being so stuck on the small details that you don't move forward with your goals. So keep the balance. Pay attention to details, but don't perseverate on details. Pay attention, but don't get stuck. Number 2, this is a great time for negotiation and meditation because of all that fairness and that kind of mutual reception of energy. And our 3rd tip this week is don't hold back on something that needs to be said, just to keep the peace if it may impact on your intentions or well-being to do so. So like I was saying, it's a great week to have mutual, beautiful conversations And you don't want to be the Libra who gets bogged down and doesn't speak up for themselves. And the same thing kind of plagues Virgo, where they give. Nobody ever says thank you because they just seem like the willing giver until they feel like nobody hears them anymore. Especially if they're trying to care for your health and well-being or organizing the house or work things, and then everybody messes it all up. Then the Virgo is like,
I have a lot of that like underlying Virgo energy in my chart because I have this massive Scorpio stellium, but it's all sitting in the 6th house, which is the house of Virgo. So it's like I'll notice like things that would normally, like you said, like the health and well-being of others. It's a very underlying thing for me. And if it's like somebody's not being nurtured and taken care of, like I'm trying my hardest and it's not going well, I take it really hard. And I'm like, why though? Like, why do I care so much?
Well, fun fact, we were in Salem at the beginning of August and Christina hosted that's not the right word. She allowed us to sit with her in meditative space as she directed us through one. And at the beginning, she said that you could do it with a buddy if you want to. And so Sarah and I sat back to back per her instruction. And we were the only two people to do it as a buddy. And she regretted it because then we broke it.
You did. You guys are not allowed to do things together anymore.
So then she got like, you two, I knew when I said that I should not have said that because I knew you two were going to work together and something was going to go wrong. Because she was trying to host this like beautiful like immersion into finding your pathway. And Sarah and I like did the totally wrong things. Like Sarah like had like a straight up, as she does, like psychic moment that was like psychic and like really weird. And then like I was like half falling asleep, but like my body was like, "You're gonna turn right now. It's right.
Do it."
So I sounded like half asleep, and Sarah was like holding me up, and everybody else like got up and was like, "Oh, I did this. And Christina was like, "Yes," and she was in her like meditative voice, and then we got to there, and she's like, "You too."
Think about what life would look like if you had the foundation to do the shadow work, understand where you're holding yourself back, and the confidence to bring some everyday magic elements into your life, follow your intuition, and know exactly the steps forward for you. Well, that's what we teach you and more in our Holistic Witchery program. Be sure to get on the wait list for Holistic Witchery. It's the one class we think everybody should take here at the Sisters Enchanted. It has changed so many lives and is at the core of all of our fundamental beliefs about who we are and how we propel ourselves forward in a way that makes great change for ourselves and those around us. Check out holisticwitchery.com, get on the wait list, and we can't wait to welcome you into class just as soon as enrollment opens.
I'm trying to nurture you.
It wasn't wrong. It definitely wasn't wrong because I think it was a breakthrough moment and it was something that needs to happen. It didn't go as planned. Like it didn't go as directed in the proper sense. And like, so I'm like, all right, whatever, you two are just not allowed. Because I figured a lot of people, they were friends. They'd want a buddy together. No, it's just you two. And it's just havoc. And you're in the center of everybody too. So it's just like, but it was a breakthrough moment and it was beautiful and it didn't go wrong. It was a learning experience. And now I know that when I recommend people to do this together, the same thing together, to not. Unless we need that kind of a moment.
It did have a really cool like thing happen, but at the same time, Sarah and I can't do anything like that together because like both of us get so muddied up in the other one. Like we're like one person. We always joke that Sarah and I are like, if you put us together, we'd probably be the perfect person, close to perfect, not actually perfect, but like in our minds perfect. But like separately, we're like always like needing the other one because like the other one's the other half of what the other one is missing. So when we do things like that, we always either like throw off somebody or like confuse the room or like do all these weird things. So Sarah and I are allowed to participate in activities like that together.
Yeah. I think it's just the way you guys sat too, because like the whole point was to connect the spines and that's like a really intense connection with one another. So I think you could still do things together. You just can't sit back to back. Cut off.
Yeah, no, it is true though. The Virgo energy, and Sarah has a stellium also in the house of Virgo, but in Sagittarius.
Yes.
It's like connected Scorpio though too, isn't it? I don't know. I have
Yeah.
to look at your chart. But me, I'm a super Virgo, and like I put like a basket near the front door for like my family to put their shoes in, and nothing makes me more mad than when they all take their shoes off and put them around the basket. I'm like, no. I gave you a basket. You guys can put your shoes in the closet. So I put a basket near the closet so you didn't have to open a door. And now that I give you a basket, you still throw your shoes on the floor. And like that makes me, and then I like walk by and I'm like, it's nice that there are shoes everywhere. It's not like you don't know where to put your shoes. And then I get like crazy.
I feel that.
It's not like I made it easy for you to put your shoes somewhere. And then I get like an irrational kind of like Hulk Buster moment. Anyways, why don't you tell us about our cards for this week?
Yes, I pull the cards. So I like to pull the cards as you're speaking because they draw within the conversation. So I first pulled the Lovers, and at first I'm like, how am I going to tie like the Lovers into this? Like it seemed a little complicated, but I like the fact when you were talking about productive conversations, beautiful conversations, because even though in this deck, so people who can't see it, the Lovers are depicted by two cranes, and it almost looks like they're fighting. There's like an eagle in the background kind of mediating, but that's actually their mating dance. So it looks like very flamboyant and it looks kind of crazy, like they're fighting, but they're not. Each bird, one bird has in its I was gonna say hand, it's in foot. It's got fire, and the other one has like an apple. So it has like creation and growth, and each one has its own thing that it's good at. It has its own thing that it's good at, and each one brings something to the table. So these productive conversations, these beautiful conversations, it really is a goal. They are something that needs to be had because each one's going to bring something wonderful to this conversation. We also pulled Temperance, which is all about balance. And I love this. So Sarah, if you're looking at this, there's snakes in this card. There's two snakes wrapped around a tree, and one of them's got like its tail dipped in the water, and then the other one is dipped in the grass, like in the tree, in the willow tree. And I love that balance between the emotion and the earth and like the growth, and like it's just not necessarily primal, but it's like the beauty in nature. Like it's just that, like that's how these conversations need to go. They need to be natural. They need to be balanced. They need to flow. It needs to be really good. And we got here pretty much the epitome of like the Virgo energy. So this card is the Mother of Roots. So this would be equivalent to the Queen of Pentacles. And she is like, she's very self-sacrificing. So it's an ant. I forgot the type of ant, but she, throughout her lifetime, she's the queen. She nurtures the I can't think of names of things today. The whole horde or whatever it is. What do you call
Community of ant friends.
The community of ant friends. There we go. So the whole community is nurtured by her. It's growing and everything like that. And then when it's time for her to reproduce, she loses her wings. They fall off. She gives that sacrifice because she will forever then be underground nurturing her babies. And she's got a whole bunch of eggs here, and they're growing, and it's growing in the long run. Like Anna actually here has used, when I was first taking astrology, and she used this description to describe Virgo, was that it's represented by the harvester. You're not just harvesting the wheat, cutting it and making it into a bread. You're cutting the wheat in a certain way so it grows back next year. It's for the long run. So whatever hard work you've put in, sacrifices you've put in, all that kind of stuff is just, it's for the bigger picture. It's for the long run. And that, I think, is one of the most beautiful things about Virgo energy. And this queen is showing that, like the wings are gone. She's got the egg. That's the ultimate growth there. And the community is moving on because of her. And she doesn't mind it. This is the next stage of her life. It's not a loss. It's the next chapter. So I think these conversations that we're going to have during these times are going to be really impactful and beautiful and balanced, and they're going to help both sides grow for the bigger picture. So
I like it. I like it a lot. I like your second card too, because the snakes are doing the almost like Ouroboros kind of like wrap around the tree, but it's also like the symbolism of the asteroid Hygeia too, and that the weaving,
Yes.
like the medical symbol,
Yes.
which is an asteroid that like acts very much like Virgo energy. And that kind of like balance of the two energies coming together, like Libra and Virgo did, like we talked about earlier in the podcast, that kind of combining of energy in temperance there, of the healing and the emotion that's brought on by the practical Virgo with the beauty and emotion that sits with Venus and Libra. So very cool.
Beautiful. I like how this ended. Very poetic.
Going to be beautiful. Well, Christina, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure. It was 2 weeks of Christina reading for us, and we are happy to have her. And like I said, if you ever, email us, Christina is your buddy. She's the one who answers you, and she is all hands on deck all the time for all things Sisters Enchanted, and we wouldn't know what to do without her. And so here she is helping us out with the podcast.
You're very, very welcome.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Exhibition of Soul podcast. We will see you next week for another astrology forecast, and we hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. Bye.
Bye.
Hello there, magic makers. It's Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and I am popping in with some news. Y'all know we love astrology here at the Sisters Enchanted, and we love living in alignment with our inner selves and our values. And some of our values here on our team are around thinking ahead, simplifying, time management, and communication. And to live within those values, we're making a little bit of a change with the podcast. In the next few months, you'll see that the podcast is going to come from live stream replays, and we're going to have some bonus episodes still for you with guest experts sprinkled in here and there. And our Friday astrology podcast is no longer going to be public. I know. News is always, change is always, should I say, hard, but it doesn't have to be hard. Some of the things that we will do is certainly still give you some astrology forecast notes over in our Instagram stories. You can find them there, but our astrology forecast is going to be absorbed into our Enchanted Journey membership and is going to be in there. And why are we making this change, you might be wondering? Well, our astrology program is largely offered to members of our community, to members of our Holistic Witchery community and our Enchanted Journey membership. And true to our own aligned values, it makes sense to simplify and bring this into that program so that we can really focus on whatever it is that we are bringing to the masses in a big way every week. We teach astrology. We have a top-notch certification program, but it's certainly not the only thing that we do. So we are going to simplify for us. We're going to simplify for you, and we're going to bring this into our Enchanted Journey membership. But like I said, have no fear. There will be pop-up lives about astrology still because it changed my life, and I know how life-changing it can be for everybody else. And we'll certainly put notes here, there about on social media. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, y'all, enjoy the next few episodes because we do have them coming out through the end of August 2022, and we can't wait to get those to you. And until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday and astro forecasts for the week ahead every Friday. If there's any topics you'd want to hear, anything you want us to dive deeper into, shoot us an email at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.